Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Melina Landrio and I want to thank you all for sharing space with me today. If you are jumping back, thanks for coming back. I appreciate your support. I'm going to jump into the message today. We have some channeled messages, we have some dream interpretations, some mediumship, and some songs that came through for this particular downloaded message. Now this is going to be a collective message, so please use your discernment when navigating what's for you, what's not, and if it even resonates at all. Please don't make something fit that doesn't, okay? So I'm just going to do some dice here, see what comes up in the understanding, and then I'll begin with some of my messages here. What do we have here? So we have the Sun. We have Libra, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yes, Libra and Life Path 1 is of significance. And as well, I am seeing a skull in my dice. And for some reason, it's making me think, well, the obvious death, but it's making me think something is hidden. It landed on its side, like so. Now, a Libra is someone born, I believe, September 23rd to October 22nd, I believe. Yeah, September 23rd to October 22nd. This is an air sign, and it's also ruling the 7th house. And the 7th house, let me just check that, is relationships. This could be a relationship. This also, being in the 1st house, has to do with someone's individuality or your individuality. So you could be a Libra, or someone that I'm speaking of is a Libra today. Libras are diplomatic, they're cooperative, they are charming, they're in harmony, they're very intriguing individuals. So the individual card coming out is not surprising to me. The 1st house being that of the self and ascendant, and it's about like self-image, the appearance. So this message is pertaining to the appearance of something, what something might look like on the outside versus what it actually reflects on the inside. And there's characteristics involved in regarding this message. So there's key points that might rise up in the awareness if you're resonating with this message as we move through, just to be mindful of that. Also, there's a certain type of expectation on the flip side of whatever this message is. So whatever comes out in the deliverance of this today, there is an expectation in my deciphering of what the understanding is of this message. So be aware of that as well. And this also has to do with individuality, of course, but also the environment. And there is some touching on different spaces. There's motivations, desires, and something to do with first impressions as well. Now, the Sun is about also about individuality. So individuality or an individual is very significant in regards to this particular download. And something to do about being strong and having willpower, being creative, and also self-conscious. This could also be a father figure in regards to this. Leo, I believe, the Sun rules Leo. And with the 7th house being the relationship, which is associated with the Libra card. So this could be pertaining to a relationship, a friendship, marriage, business relation, some sort of connection that you may have, or someone may have that you know, or maybe this is you. And this could do with relationships, lawsuits, contracts, also like fighting, quarrels, also harmony and union coming together. My throat, of course, starts acting up as soon as we begin. So this message is, again, something that people don't want spoken. And there's some form of illusion of intimacy in regarding this message, in the information that I received in this message. And something about a skull. So this could be literally secrets are being dug up and out, with the Sun card being exposed here. Something is coming up into illumination, something that is of a depth of darkness, perhaps. So I received this understanding of an interdimensional being. I believe it was about March 7th when this came down. And this is pertaining to someone's pathway forward. So this might be you. You might resonate or have resonance with the understanding of a starseed's pathway. And what happened was it became very evident that awareness of a door being shut was perceived. But this door was shut. It wasn't locked. And that's something that's a key understanding. For some of you here, you believe that a door has been permanently closed on you, but it's not. It's just shut. It's not locked. So it's not that it's being kept. It's not that the doorway has closed on you and like it's never going to open again. It's just, and it isn't that it's being kept from you. You're very aware that it's there. It's just that it's not quite available yet. It's almost available is what I understand. So for someone here, this should resonate. Maybe a few of you will resonate with this. This is definitely a message, a part of the message that's a confirmation for someone here. And with the clock's timing at the beginning of this message, I received it at 12:15 a.m. So 12 and the 15, when you quickly glance at it, it could look like a mirroring number. And if you were to take the 12 and the 15 and put them on top of each other, the 5 and the 2 wouldn't necessarily fit. So there's something about opposition. There's an opposition in the understanding. So it's like a trickster energy is at play here. It's very prevalent in the energy, some form of trickster energy. And the reality is, what I'm understanding from this particular connection is that you are a couple steps away from replicating something. And the replication is something to do with your understanding, from what I'm gathering, or some sort of development of obtaining this information on a conscious level. You may have already done this, but I'm understanding it's coming. This is like future energy. And you, if this is resonating with you, you have a conscious awareness of whatever this is that's coming in. You're very aware that something is coming in for you. You've been waiting and you've had this sense, like the energy feels like like something's just coming around the corner. Like when you know your birthday is around the corner, it's something like that. And I also get the sense that you feel like you've been left behind or you've been misled. Or there could be energy being projected at you to make you believe that you are left behind or misled. And this could be something to do with old wounds or triggering of the past. So somebody could be trying to project their concern with you receiving whatever this is, and they're projecting their fears, their issues onto you. But the thing is it's not really bothering you. So I feel like whatever this misled energy is that you might have been experiencing was probably very confusing, because it's like, why am I feeling like this? I don't even worry about that. So just understand this is a projection and it's an illusion that's coming forward, likely from somebody who is not very happy that you are going to be obtaining something that they are not receiving. And the receiving of this is all a process. So you've gone through this process. This could be lifetimes of a process. This could be just in this life. It could be learning a lesson. It could be breaking cycles and moving forward. This is something to do with the cycle finishing, completing, closing out, and moving into the next pathway. And this is very significant for somebody here. So if you understand what I'm talking about, then this is likely for you. And if you're the person wishing to project the trickster energy upon somebody, this message is not for you. It's just a reflection of something that you wish you had. And I encourage you to reflect within and figure out what's for you. March the 10th, I heard a song, I think it's called Demons by Imagine Dragons. The particular line I was hearing is not an actual lyric in the song, I've come to understand. But this is what I was hearing. This is my kingdom come, this is my kingdom come. You'll rescue me, you'll rescue me. That's not the lyrics, for those of you who don't know the song. I didn't know the song till now. But somebody wants you to understand that something is theirs and you're going to come help them with it. Or like they're demanding something that's not theirs and they're expecting you to help them with it. Again, to go with that interdimensional message. So for those of you who understand that aspect will understand what that means. So the main lyrics of the song is this. This is my kingdom come, this is my kingdom come. When you feel my heat, look into my eyes. It's where my demons hide, it's where my demons hide. Don't get too close, it's dark inside. It's where my demons hide, it's where my demons hide. They say it's what you make, I say it's up to fate. It's woven in my soul, I need to let you go. Your eyes shine so bright, I want to save that light. I can't escape this now unless you show me how. So somebody is, just very confused. They're in this belief, this understanding, this idea, this perception that something is relevant for them that's not. And likely they're believing it's relevant for them because they have demons inside of them. And they're also trying to hide like they don't have this type of experience going on inside of them. So they're probably smiling in your face, but secretly they're like cringing inside about you. But at the same time, they can't help but watch you. They can't help but look towards you. So there's something about you that is like calling to the soul part of them. However, there is something attached to them riding their back, creating this delusion. That's what I understand from that song. And they believe that you'll rescue them. So maybe you've gone through something similar. Maybe this person has witnessed it and they're expecting you to be able to help them with it. Or maybe in the past you've helped them with something, or maybe maybe this is somebody close to you. Remember, this is about individuality, but also about a relationship, being with the Libra sign ruling the 7th house. So this could be somebody that you've been in a relationship with previously, maybe karmically speaking, and maybe you've moved on and they're still kind of staying in that same type of positioning. On March the 11th, it was very prevalent about energy in the air. There is this energy of feeling mental anguish. So somebody here, somebody that you may be in relation with, has been feeling a lot of mental anguish. Maybe even psychosis or paranoia, or maybe you're reminiscing over the past little while of all that you've accomplished and all you've gotten through. Maybe you've went through a lot of mental discord and you've combated it and you've gotten to the other side of it. Maybe you've had some paranoia or some sort of mental disturbance and you've gotten through it and now you're on the other side of it. So maybe you've been battling depression or anxiety or some form of discomfort, mentally speaking. And mentally speaking, also connecting with the physical and the emotional embodiment, projecting out that as well, which would make an environment chaotic to live. So it's like this understanding that your thoughts create your energy field, right? So you're thinking in a negative, low vibration, you're creating that low vibration around you, and then you're emitting it out, and that's the energy that you're kind of sitting in. And like if you're somebody who lives with a various degree of people, you might be sensitive to these energies as well. So it could be just an understanding of all of that, something from the past that you've gotten out of, or this could be somebody that you know, or somebody that's in your energy projecting at you these types of experiences. So you guys will know how this fits with you, if it fits. So you may have had like an experience that people are out to get you, or you might be noticing somebody having that experience. Somebody can also be experiencing like they're stuck and they have immense anxiety about this. Like this is like really stuck, planted energy. This is some energy that cannot move forward. This is definitely old cycles and old patterns repeating themselves. This is somebody that just can't seem to get out of whatever demon is riding their back. And that's from the song previously, the day before. And it feels like there's no ends or no means to get out. So somebody could be really down and out, feeling really depressed and really on edge. And this is where I'm going to implore you to reach out to a professional, a medical professional, somebody who works maybe with behaviors or with the mind, just to speak about what you're going through, what you're experiencing, to try to get some sort of assistance in regards to however you can move forward to alleviate or relieve this experience that you've been having. I know for myself, when I've gone through the harder times in my life, like the heavy energies, especially with going through spiritual warfare. So this can also be something to do with spiritual warfare. People project this shit on you, and if you're somebody who's sensitive, you might experience it and believe it's your own, but it might not be your own as well. And those of you who understand what I'm talking about will understand what that is. And there's only so much time that you can sit in some sort of energy like that. That energy will always dissipate. But this is somebody who's struggling. This could be somebody who's struggling on a constant, and you might need to reach out for some assistance, especially when it's leading you on a dark pathway, or to create like some sort of light to help you get through that tunnel. There's been periods of my life where I have struggled and I haven't had any support, and it felt like I fell in the bottom of this really dark pit and I couldn't get out, and everything was dark. Every day was the same. And it was essentially just the people I was surrounding myself with, the people in my life that were supposed to love me, really weren't supportive. It was only supportive when it was of benefit for them. And, you know, God forbid I ask for some sort of support or help, it would be always met with some sort of like, oh, this is inconvenient for me, but this is, I guess I'll help you. And, you know, when you're somebody who gets met with that when you're going through something like that, it's not really servicing you in a high vibration, right? And that could be also a do tell sign that you are surrounded by jerks, assholes, people don't care about you. So that might be resonating for someone here as well. You might be feeling that way, and I just want to say, just keep moving forward, keep breathing into each day, have your showers, do your space cleansing, try to pray against whatever this is. And I promise you, you will meet the day where it feels like that sun breaks through and everything lifts up and off of you. But if you do feel the need that you have to speak with somebody, I do highly encourage you to seek a medical professional. I am not that. Okay? Also, the same date on the 11th of March, I woke up, I got pulled. You know when you wake up and you get pulled out of your dream state? Well, sometimes I hear people speaking in my dream state, like I'm hearing information. And as I was being woken up, I looked at my clock, and I believe it was 8:42 a.m. And I heard, actually no, I recorded the message at 8:42 a.m., but I received the message at 4:42 a.m. I just heard a big thump upstairs, and in an area where nobody should be thumping. And I'm not hearing any like crying in that. I know that my children are off to bed, so, and they're with their dad right now. So it's like, what is that thump? Weird. I don't have an animal that's bouncing around my upstairs. Something just thumped. Maybe it's my neighbor, but I don't think so. Could be significant in some way, shape, or form. Sorry, that distracted me. Yeah, so I recorded the message at 8:42 because that's when I don't know why I wrote it like that. There could be a time distortion. I feel like I just like mucked up my whole like recording here. I'm gonna keep going with it. Okay, sorry. So I got pulled out of the dream state, and I heard, "Oh my God, I'm getting deported." And the voice wasn't necessarily a man or a woman. I perceived it as maybe a woman, but it wasn't that I was understanding the voice. It was more a surprised tone, and like not even a panic, almost like this person might maybe knew this was coming. Like, oh my god, I'm getting deported. Like I've been waiting for this day, like like nervously waiting for this day or something. Like it's here, or had an idea or thought or something. Obviously, whomever this is that I'm hearing this result from, is, I'm sure, concerned about that. But yeah, I got that at about 4:42 in the morning. I got pulled out of my dream state. I heard that as I was getting pulled out. So it wasn't somebody in my room. This was in my dream state where I heard this. And for whatever reason, we're at 8:42 a.m. Maybe I recorded it again at 8:42, or maybe that's when the understanding, that I may not have recorded it. Some weird stuff like that has gone on. So, or some sort of time transference, or 4 hours time could be significant for something. Like maybe somebody's waiting for 4 hours, to find something out about this. Anywho, or maybe it's 4 weeks, 4 months. And maybe this has happened before because there's a repeat of the 42 and the 42. Or maybe this is like a time zone thing. Sorry, I'm deciphering my time frames because I'm kind of confused why I wrote the 8:42 when I heard it at 4:42. So maybe this is a time zone. Maybe at 4:42 in the morning here, it's 8:42 in the morning there, or vice versa, wherever this person is from, wherever they're residing right now and about to be deported from. That's relevant. Okay, I'm gonna move on. That was a bit of a energy, shift. Now, on March 12th, I started hearing this song. I don't even know how to pronounce this person. This song kind of, I find very sad. It's very blasphemous. I heard it at 5:22 in the morning. Abel, or Abel, is the name of the song, or the name of the person who sings the song. Anyways, it's I'll read the lyrics. I don't enjoy these lyrics, and I'm sorry. My apologies if they are offensive to you. I found them quite offensive myself. But anywho, not my not my not my monkey show here. What is that expression? Not my monkeys, not my circus, or something. I don't know. That could be relevant. Okay, so the song goes, "You go down just like Holy Mary, Mary on a cross. Not just another Bloody Mary, Mary on a. You go down just like Holy Mary, Mary on a cross. Your beauty never ever scares me, Mary on a cross. If you choose to run away with me, I will tickle you internally." I know I'm not singing it right. I don't know. I don't really know the song, but this is the lyrics. And I see nothing wrong with that. And then just as, again, repeat, Mary on a cross, and then nothing wrong with that. So obviously, something mocking religion, something blasphemous. So this could be, like, I found it really like, oh my God, why would someone write such like stupid lyrics? It hurt my heart to actually hear that. It was kind of sad. But yeah, but something like is very blasphemous, this song. So something blasphemous could be related to today's message, okay? I also heard, I don't know if you guys remember this. I'm going to try to do the voice. As fast can be, you'll never catch me. I cannot do the voice. I used to do it really well when I was a kid. At least I felt like I did. So this is the Jackalope. I don't know if you guys remember this from the 90s, I think. I believe it was like a skit on with a jackalope on America's Funniest Home Videos. The guy from Full House, I think it was Dave Coulier, and a woman. They did the skit on it. Anyways, that came up. As fast can be, you'll never catch me. So that came up as well. So that's significant. So something blasphemous. 522 could be significant. March 12th could be significant. Now, the same day, I had a dream. And in my dream, it was something about a building. Now, this building could be business or it could be an apartment building. I felt it was a business building. And it was like this water just like flushed by the window. I was on a really high floor and water just flushed by the window, almost trying to destroy. And so the thought of a flood or some form of devastation is relevant in regards to this channel. So this could be symbolic also to emotional energies or the emotional body. Also, in my dream, there was old people from my past, people who aren't really significant in my life, but who maybe met me for a minute. This is significant. So the significant pertains to some form of, with these particular people. So these particular people in your past that you may have had some form of association with, but they were not really relevant in your life. Like you may have met them briefly, maybe met them a few times, had some sort of association with, maybe you took a class with somebody, maybe you met somebody, I don't know, I'm passing through a friend of a friend, something like that. But there's significance with these particular people from the past. And it pertains to some form of dishonesty by the creation of some sort of illusion to redirect or advert some form of experience or understanding for you. So this trickster energy is relevant. So you may have had somebody paint an illusion about you or try to redirect you from understanding something just to avert you from gaining the truth about something, is what it feels like. So this could be somebody or multiple people that did this to you are now experiencing regret at this time for this particular thing that they did to you or tried to create for you to avert you in some sort of way away from something that was meant for you. And what I'm gaining is communication is of importance to do with something that was experienced or placed unto you. So you might be receiving some form of communication, or maybe there was some form of communication placed out that was disservicing to you. You might be experiencing visitations in your dream state by these people from your past. So that could be one way that you might be understanding this, or maybe you're intuitively picking up, sometimes I'm just sitting there and out of nowhere, I just think of somebody that's not really relevant to me. And I'm like, why am I thinking about this person? It's because they're in my energy. It's because they're thinking about me and they're in my energy. So this is a way that everybody can communicate. We all have these abilities, right? Some of us have stronger abilities than others in certain realms or whatever, but we are all here with intuitive understandings. And it's up to you to work that muscle to understand and benefit, to gain more insight into how you can utilize your muscle. But if you're somebody who, all of a sudden gets a vision or gets an understanding or thinks about somebody, it's possible that that person could be thinking about you or could be in your energy field. Also, you might be having like past memories recycle from the circumstances or the experiences that you had with whoever these people are, this person is in your past. You might even have a knock at your door with one of these people showing up as well. So this could actually be a 3D experience where you're actually gaining some form of actual visitation from somebody, okay? And somebody who's not very relevant to you. This is not a family member. This is not somebody who's was your best friend or anything. This is somebody who you haven't seen in a long time, and if you knew them, it was brief, not very long at all. It wasn't, it was maybe business, it was maybe a friend of a friend. It was not really an actual relationship that you had with somebody. And there may have been like some misunderstanding in regards to that connection. Or like illusions, like delusions. That's coming up in the energy as well. Trickster energy. Anyways, regardless, whatever this is, it's truth that's rising from its ashes. And again, the relevance to the blasphemous song that I just read the lyrics, it's the crucifixion of Jesus and his resurrection, right? And they're placing Mary on it. So anyways, Easter is coming up. Perhaps Easter is relevant. Um, Now, around 12:30 in the morning on March 13th, I heard this noise outside my door, and it was like a continuous banging, and it was timed. It was like every few seconds I would hear the same smack. Every few seconds I'd hear the same clunk, whatever it was that the noise was. I had nothing on my porch at that particular date that would make noise like that, so it sounded like somebody was actually hitting or tapping my outside. And then after like a few minutes of the tapping, it started to drag away like in the distance, but they kept happening, but on a distance, like it's leaving. So it was almost as though someone wanted me to know that they were there, like they were trying to scare me or something. And then like a little bit later, when I decided to go to bed, I heard like shuffling around behind me in my room in the dark, but there was nobody in my room with me. And I interpreted this as spirit showing me somebody is shuffling around in the dark. So it could pertain to somebody who could be watching you. Somebody is intentionally trying to get in your space to view your habits or your routine to gain some form of purpose or knowledge. And they may be doing this through remote viewing, through astral projection. Essentially, they're trying to assemble some sort of goal that they have as an intention to achieve. And they need to gain some sort of understanding or information about you. Could be me, could be a bunch of us. So just be aware of how you're interpreting the energy around you and how you're feeling. You might just have a sudden understanding that you should be aware. And then revoke and rebuke that shit. Especially if it's somebody in the astral or remote viewing you. Now, on March 14th, 3:29 a.m., I heard disgusted, that bitch. Now, I don't know if someone is being disgusted with moi, calling me a bitch, or if someone is just being disgusted with somebody who they are discussing, or someone that they perceive as disgusting, and then they call them a bitch. So it's one or the other. Again, at 2:33:32 could be significant. The song Scatman, I woken up with the song Scatman and it was blasting. It wasn't in my house. This is like somebody, like spirit was showing me this song blasting. Somebody, there was an awareness of someone blasting this particular song. I think this was the night of the full moon, if I'm not mistaken. And this is like, I believe the full moon hit my area an hour prior to this, an hour and 10 or 11 minutes prior. So 111 could also be significant. You might want to look up those numbers if you don't know what they mean. I'm not going to be checking those out today. So 2:33:32, 1:22, I believe, is when the full moon hit here. Scatman blasting. And I was also reminded of another reading I did about a year ago or so that also that song was very prevalent in it. So this could be relevant for somebody here. Also, I had a memory around 8 a.m. about being in, I don't know how to pronounce this. I think it's the capital of South Korea. Seoul, I think is how you pronounce it. Seoul. So I had a memory of being there in my dreams. So something significant about getting a license and somebody also losing a baby. I'm going to dive in deeper a little bit further up. I'm just going through my messages here, guys. So, excuse me. My apologies. Yeah. So March, wait a minute, I wrote March 15th here. I'm doing the reading on March 15th, but this was yesterday when I received this. So it's kind of funny that I wrote that. Maybe I knew I was going to do the reading today. Anywho, March 15th. Today is significant. I'll likely be posting this. It'll probably upload past like tomorrow on the 16th. Maybe the 15th where you are, but where I am, Eastern Standard Time, it's the 15th right now while I'm recording. Okay, so something to do with soul. And in this dream I had, it was something to do with a daughter in Seoul, Korea. Okay, and where is my sketchbook? So I saw in my dream, it was like I was in this space, and it's like it kept flashing from different dynamics within the space. And there was a particular man that stood out a couple of times or multiple times in each time frame. And I didn't think I was going to have anybody to draw, but I remember this man. He was a bald man. And I remember him because he didn't quite fit. He didn't quite fit what I was understanding in my dream. And so when I woke up, Spirit started showing me his eyes, and I felt the prompt to sketch. So I drew him. So this is the man that I drew. I'm sorry, I did a painting on the other side of this. Now, his nose here, it's interesting that on the other side there's like a marking here. I was also under the impression that he could have a broken nose. And so it could be possible, or he could have like I don't know what you would call this, but a bump from a broken nose, from a past broken nose. And it could possibly be about this point, because I didn't draw it in. But when I painted this today, this happened, and I was meaning to draw it in. And then I realized this happened. And so I feel like Spirit was like, yeah. So he could have a bump or a broken nose. That's significant here. Okay, but this is the man that I saw, essentially. And I'll show him again. So I saw a bald man in my dreams, and I just drew him as I showed you. He is somehow significant to this channel. And there's something to do with fraudulency, okay? So fraud is significant here. He was in a few segments, like I said, within my dream, and it's like he was watching, he was observing. So somebody who is watching, somebody who maybe is overseeing some sort of awareness in regard to a situation that has occurred, that is or has occurred. So whatever it is coming into play regards to this channel. I feel the bald man is also wearing a black leather jacket, although I didn't necessarily see his clothing. I kind of felt like he was wearing a lot of army green style type jackets. Like there was a lot of army color influence in this dream. But then for whatever reason, I kept seeing this black leather jacket. So whether it's his jacket or somebody else's jacket, I don't know. But there's a black leather jacket that is significant. I also had a dream of a rock border, and that's what I painted on the other side. And so what I saw was some sort of a water bike boat. So a bike that floats on top of the water. There's some sort of deal that takes place, some sort of exchange that takes place in regards to what I drew. And what I'm speaking of in regards to this rock border. So I'm not sure what that is, but there's something fraudulent here taking place. So this is what I saw. So these are 2 layers of rock. There's more rock around this, and I feel like the rock is dark. And there's definitely grass beyond this point. So there's like a grassy plain. And this is the kind of bike I saw. It like had a black tire, a big tire, and then these white baubles floating. I don't know if you could see that. And so these are definitely 2 layers, main layers of big rocks is what I was seeing. But I feel like there could be maybe more. But there's definitely 2 solid layers, whatever that is. This could be in Seoul, Korea as well. Because the main focus was there in regards to this man and what I saw. So something about an exchange, some sort of deal, something that is fraudulent is taking place here in regards to this bike, in regards to this rocked area, something where there's grass and water. Okay. Also, something came in about a miscarriage in regards to this dream as well. Now, my daughter was in this dream with me, and she was getting her license. So there's something to do with licensing regarding a daughter. So it could be a driver's license, but it doesn't have to be. Some sort of required license. is regarding this particular daughter description. It's definitely to do with a daughter. And the age 14 could be significant. So in the dream, it was almost as if there was, if we were in this like compacted aluminum building, like it was made of maybe metal crates, or metal boxes, like box carts from the train. And it was darkened. It was a darkened space, and there was openings in this. I want to call it like a shelter. There was openings, and that were open, clearly open at one end, maybe behind me, but I was seeing one particular end. And outside, I feel like there could have even been more of these box type shelters. But yeah, so like there's an opening, but this opening could also be easily shut. Is what I was understanding from looking at it. It could be easily shut, it could shut easily and confined is what I understood. So inside there was many intricate nooks and spaces where you could sit, almost like compartments. And I don't feel like there were any windows because the space was pretty dark. It felt like I was walking in a rather large shed, like a darkened shed, but like a really large shed, or some sort of shelter of miscellaneous objects, where like you would store things like maybe boats or motorcycles, or like, but it was large. It was rather large. It was bigger than a home. At least the appearance of it looked like that to me. And there was layers, like there was compartments, like steps and other compartments. And there's specific areas that had these compartments, and then there was open space. And there was people in this space. There was groups of people in this area that I was viewing in my dream space. Also, I just want to note that in my dream, I saw what appeared to me to be like a military style green in color. It reminds me of MASH, the colors of MASH, the green from the show MASH. And the blanket looked like it was pilled. Like it was a rough, there's a rough consistency to the blanket, and it was like a dark, it was like an olivey military style green. There's also these like waterproof flattened pillow cushions for this area, and I feel like they were utilized as seats, and they're also waterproof. Like if these got wet, the moisture would not penetrate them. And while I was transcribing this channel, was the feeling that these pillows were patterned as the main base of the color as dark blue, but I felt like there was these thinly woven stripes of maybe red, maybe yellow. I also want to say green, but like not all the colors, like just one. Like it could be red and the blue, or yellow and the blue, or maybe green and the blue, but I'm not 100% about the green. And it's like a single like stripe, almost like a plaid design, like one stripe here, one stripe, and then another's crossing it, but not too much. The main color is navy blue. For whatever reason, I thought that while I was writing this out. In my dream, I also came across a woman. Now, this is a little bit of a trigger warning, so just brace yourself. Heavy, some of the information I receive. So I came across a woman that had miscarried in my dream. And in my dream, I sat and I grieved with this woman, as I also have experienced miscarriages. And so I understood the pain of what she, when you've gone through something that somebody else has gone through, and you know the depth of it, and you can have compassion for them, you sit with them. And I sat with her in my dream. But as I sat down, it was as though there was some sort of filter disguising the reality of what this woman had endured. And that's bringing me back to the trickster energy. Let me just look here. I feel like there was one of these. Yeah, the first house, individuality, the appearance, the environment, and the motivations of the individual, the characteristics of the individual, the self-image of this whole thing that I'm expressing right now. This is significant here. So the individuality of this space that I'm seeing, this as an individual space, also the people in it as an individual entity in it, and the experience as individual things as well. And the environment of each is significant. Okay. So yeah, it was like I was looking at her, but it was almost like a filter was disguising the reality of what this woman had endured. And I say this for two reasons. Number one, the woman is mourning the loss of her baby as though she had a miscarriage. But now that at this point when I was transcribing it, and I thought about it, I don't think it was a miscarriage. I think the baby was full term and was taken. As there was like this flash that I experienced in understanding, that appeared to me gory. It appeared very gory to my memory. And giving birth, or even a miscarriage, there's a sacredness to both. It's like there's a sacredness to death. There's a sacredness to birth. There's a sacredness to the loss. There's an experience that's had that's very sacred to the soul that is being experienced. And when I look at the sacredness of things, there is this energetic understanding of the way the space should be held. That's how I look at it. And this woman was mourning the loss of her baby like she had a miscarriage. But when I saw that gory, what appeared gory to my memory, and it was as though the umbilical cord, and I'm somebody who has given birth at home. I have delivered 3 of my 4 children at home. So I understand the sacredness of the umbilical cord, and as well as the amniotic sac. And we all have, as parents, as moms, as midwives or doulas, could be significant as well. There is a certain gentility that is experienced or expressed in regards to these particular sacred attachments to the understanding of what has prevailed, what has succumbed, what has happened. So what I saw that was gory was, it was as though the umbilical cord and the amniotic sac were next to her. But if you had given birth or understood birth, or have been present to understand this, these particular items are treated very sacredly and with respect. The way I perceived these pieces of this woman's story, of this woman's experience, they were not lovingly laid. They were just thrown. And I'm hearing ripped out. That's where it gets disturbing. Sorry, folks. That's where this message is going. When I also looked at her, she seemed extremely disoriented, and not just in grief for what happened, almost like some sort of experience was given to her to create this disorientation. Maybe she was given drugs, maybe something happened to knock her out and create this distortion. Something didn't quite fit mentally in the anguish that she was experiencing as the understanding of what had occurred. Something just didn't match. And there was something about this moment that I just couldn't quite grasp to make it make sense in what I was being told. Okay, so that's the first thing that triggered me to think this maybe wasn't a miscarriage. And the second experience that was unusual, as I sat with the woman holding space, all of a sudden, there's this woman that shows up with this dyed brunette. It was almost like an orangey colored brown. Like maybe it was dyed brown and there was like this chestnut brown undertone to it and it's faded. There was like an orange undertone to the hair. So maybe her hair was really dark and it was lightened up to a light brown, and that orangey undertone that's in the dark hair was really pushing through the color. It was very prevalent. As a hairdresser, that's something I look at. So the undertones of colors. So I feel like this person had darker hair and they dyed it to look lighter. They had very thick, very coarse hair, and it was up in this like this ponytail, this messy ponytail. Okay, and they had a scrunchie holding it together. The scrunchie, I feel, had burgundy red, maybe orange, and like black lines on it. Like I feel like there's those three colors were significant. I don't, not 100% on that, but for some reason I feel like that's what I saw. Anyways, this woman came up to divert me or distract me away from the attention of that understanding that I was gaining. So in my dream, this woman was like, "Come with me this way." And in my dream, I went with this woman, which is very unusual for me. As consciously, I would never leave someone grieving with pain like that. I would never, if I was offering support or to hold space for somebody, I would sit with them. And if I were to leave, I would ensure that they were okay for me to leave. And this didn't happen in this particular part of the dream, which is something that I would never do as a healer. As somebody who has sat with women healing, as somebody that's hold and taught healing, like taught Reiki and taught healing modalities, this is not something that I would ever do as a healer for somebody who is going through that level of pain. So in the dream, when I left them and went with this person to another location, to another space, another energy, another experience of something away from that understanding. So that is very significant. Again, the individuality of the first house, the appearance of what's there, the characteristics of what's there, the expectations, and then the environment. So the environment moving from one to another, from one understanding to another understanding, from one depth to another depth. There's some sort of motivation here in the impressions of what's going on. And that's to do with the first house, which came up in the dice. And again, the skull is coming up. So to do with death. Earlier, I rolled some dice and I got the acorn. And that could also be very significant to do with the crown or the mental body or the pineal gland, the understanding or the sight, the experience, the illusion could also be significant. Yeah. So that's essentially the download and the dreams that I received. I just want to see if there's anything more here. Yeah. So something about soul. Seoul. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. My apologies. I understand it's the capital of South Korea, I believe. So that's significant. South Korea is significant. And something to do with a daughter. Could be a 14-year-old, something to do with a license, something to do with a miscarriage, and something to do with something is not as it seems. So I'm going to pull some cards. I have a few decks here. I'm not sure which one I wanted to call forward. I was called to also pull out specific cards that I don't normally gravitate to. So I'm going to show you the pictures again just before we move in to this. So we have this picture here. And that's some sort of activity of exchange is happening here. And this picture of this man who could have a broken nose approximately here. So it could be like a dent or some sort of increase in the downward direction of the nose. And this is who I saw, who I drew. This man was just watching, observing. Something to do with that is significant. Now, let's see here. I'm going to pull these cards away. So yeah, take what fits, leave what doesn't. Maybe this resonates with you. Maybe you know this story, what I'm speaking of. Maybe there's something going on. Maybe you're from South Korea and you watch me. Maybe something like this has been going on where you're at, or maybe you have an understanding of whatever this is that I'm speaking of. I'm getting the sense to grab my biblical tarot. And it's interesting because it's almost like I feel scared to grab them. So somebody could be scared of what is being seen, what is being revealed, because it's like a trickster energy. And somebody could be scared of what's being illuminated. But I feel like, more importantly, maybe what someone like me can see with the connection that I have with source energy. So that could be very relevant. Interesting enough, I just broke the deck at the Empress and the High Priest. This could be significant. Some disturbing channels definitely that I receive, but I am happy to oblige and get them the information and share it with however it is. So let's just get a little bit more of an understanding through these cards here. Tell me more about this dream, about South Korea, about this woman, about this man, about this experience that I'm being showed. Tell me more about all this, please. What do we need to know? Okay. So we have the Two of Candles, which is Two of Wands. And we have the Seven of Grains, which is Pentacle energy. So somebody is sowing some seeds, or has sowed some seeds. More. Kind of like interesting because throughout the whole channel it's been like energy, like it made me almost shut off the channel at one point because I was like not understanding why I wrote one time to the next time, or the deported part of the channel, or but the energy, oh okay, the King of Chalices just flew out, so maybe to do with some sort of confusion, some emotional depth here. Let's see here. That's the Goal Destiny. Excuse me. Confirmation Birth. Oh, that's too many cards. Too many, please. Just one. It's very erratic. It's very push-pull. It's very, you think it's one thing and then it's another thing that you experience, or it's the depth of some experiences. It's also past cycles coming back up and into play. It's definitely a lot of really bizarre energy. That's still too many, please. Just one. Past energy, please. Okay. We have the Five of Feathers. Which is the Five of Swords. One second here. Okay, so it was the King of Candles in reverse that fell on the floor. Sorry, I had to move my table to get it. It went right underneath. And I can't back my chair because I'm against a wall here. Okay. Let's see here. So that is the recent past. So there's a King of Candles in reverse, and there's also a King of Cups as the Goal Destiny. Let's see here. So with the Seven of Grains influencing the Two of Candles, it's like some sort of stepping up, making a decision has taken place. Okay. The future energy is the Four of Cups and the Judgment card. I'm going to take them. This popped out together for the future energy here. I'll just hold those cards up in a second. I just want to get the rest of these out. What's the current? So we have a Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Grains. Current energy. What's the environment? Ten of Candles in the environment. So burdens, some sort of heaviness, heavy load. Oh, okay. The Empress in reverse is in the emotions, flipped up, and I caught it. Flipped up and I caught it. Some sort of unique understanding in regards to that. And what's the outcome? Queen of Cups in reverse. Outcome. I'm going to clarify some of these too. Bottom of the deck is the wheel within a wheel. So the Wheel of Fortune. Three of Candles. Some sort of exchange. Two of Grains. And fighting. Five of Candles. Justice. Page of Grains. Seven of Candles. High Priestess. Emperor. Temperance. Okay. So with the Seven of Grains and the Two of Candles, the Seven of Grains influencing the Two of Candles. So with the Seven of Grains, somebody didn't give up. They're very diligent. It's like they assessed whatever the dynamic was that was going on in their life, and then they reassessed it. And this led them to create some sort of, it's like using whatever was going on as stepping stones to create some sort of decision. Like they were at a crossroads, some place where they couldn't get past. They had to make a decision. They had to assess and reassess with the Seven of Grains. They had to assess and reassess their plan, their understanding, their experience to that point of whatever that is, and the which led them to step up into the challenge of whatever that was. And this is the goal and the destiny of this is the King of Chalices. And in this particular deck, this is somebody who's compassionate, somebody with balanced emotions, somebody who experiences their emotions, they express them, and they understand them. So being the King of Chalices, that is somebody who can do that. They've done this through through resilience in the challenges that they've had, through the resiliency of getting through those challenges, and that has really formulated their understanding of their emotional body. So all of this has led somebody to really gain probably deeper compassion, a deeper understanding of significance that's going on around them. Okay, so this could be pertaining to maybe the man that I sketched, maybe because he was observing. It seemed he was observing And I'm not saying that he was necessarily fraudulent, but there's something fraudulent. Like he could have been something to do with fraudulency. Um, but he could also be this King of Cups energy. So place it how it fits. This is what I'm gaining here. I'm going to clarify these cards now. Just get that deck out. So clarifying the Seven of Grains, Two of Candles, King of Cups, please. Yeah, so some sort of illusions and something that was the Five of Swords, but it's in the reverse. So some sort of illusions were broken. Some sort of, like I was saying, it felt like there was illusions going on around me. Something has broken for this King of Cups energy. Sorry, King of Cups? I hope I said King of Cups. Did I say something else? It didn't sound like I said king. Anywho. So this King of Cups energy, something that was casted over them broke. So some sort of something that was going on around them, the veil of whatever that was causing a lot of fighting, a lot of disregard, that broke. And it really created the understanding of what these illusions were. So that very well could be the bald man that I saw. Could be. So that's clarifying that. Now, we have let's see here, we'll leave that up here. Now we have a Five of Feathers that came up in the past. Now the Five of Feathers is landing underneath the Two of Candles. And the Five of Feathers is some sort of something to do with someone's moral and spiritual compass and understanding. This is to do with some sort of victory that was had. But this victory came at a great cost. Okay? And this is in the past. So this King of Cups went through something that gained some sort of victory, perhaps in one spectrum. Perhaps the victory was them not giving up, getting through, and stepping into the Two of Candles to make the decision that they had to make to get past this crossroads. Now, in the recent past, they have a King of Candles in the reverse. The King of Candles is, this is somebody who's impulsive. This is somebody who's in their ego. This is somebody who's likely aggressive. They make rash decisions. They're definitely not in, they're definitely not somebody who is getting clarity in visions or in understanding maybe their purpose. They're very confused perhaps of that, which is leading them to be very agitated and aggressive and make very fast and rash decisions based in the ego. Okay, so this is also underneath the Seven of Grains. This is underneath the sowing of seeds. So this King of Wands, King of Candles, this King of Candles, King of Wands, is likely what influenced the understanding for the King of Cups. So we have a King of Candles, we have a, in the reverse, and we have a King of Cups in the upright. Now, places where this fits, it doesn't have to necessarily be the dreams that I had. This could be just parts of an association for some of you. This could be a whole nother story that I'm going into. So place this where this fits, guys. But the future energy of this is of a Four of Cups. This is some sort of regret and also in judgment. They're in judgment for whatever it is that they sowed. So this King of Candles sowed something that created and casted some sort of fighting and some sort of illusions. But the fighting and the broke the illusions, or whatever was like this internal struggle for somebody they've been released of it. That's the fighting. I feel like it was more of an internal struggle, hence the mental discord and the emotional and physical experience that someone might have been having. And I think when I was mentioning that in the channel, I mentioned I shared some stories with how it could be spiritual warfare, or it could be, not being surrounded by people who are not supportive. So this is very significant in regards to this particular part of this reading, because it's really emanating here in the energy. And so something that was delivered to somebody to make them give up, to make them feel like they're not worthy of something, and again, the inversion of the energy, the distortion, the creating some sort of illusion to gain access to a virtual way from whatever it is that you're here for. And that's very private trickster, the trickster energy. So this is under judgment right now, or this is future energy. This is coming into judgment. Let's see here. Just want to look up the Four of clarify the Four of Chouts, so the Knight of Wands. Yeah, so this is like fast moving energy, targeting energetically somebody is what this is giving. And this is clarifying the King of Candles and what was done. They charged at this King of Cups. Maybe they charge at the King of Cups to make them experience a lot of emotional, mental, and physical turmoil where they had no choice but to decipher what it was that they were experiencing. Maybe because I expressed the dark pit that I went through when I was a child, not being very supported in my environment, or not having a lot of supportive people in my environment, and having to navigate those deep, hard feelings that I had on my own. That's significant for somebody here in regards to this particular channel. Like, spell work is significant. The Knight of Wands is, and the King of Candles in reverse is verifying that for me. Now, I want to look up in this deck the Queen of Pentacles, because I feel like there is something significant in there that needs to be looked at from my point of view. Because we have her in the current energy. So this is somebody who's resourceful. They're nurturing and they're caring. They're independent. They're very strong, and they have balanced responsibilities. So they have learned to balance their pathway. That is very significant for star seeds at the beginning of the message. The interdimensional message came through. So this could be significant here as the current energy. So some sort of breakthrough has come through for Queen of Cups energy. So maybe this King of Cups is the Queen of Cups, vice versa. Play it where it fits. Maybe both energies are present in someone. We did have the High Priest, and I believe it was the Empress at the beginning that came through the cut deck. We do have an Empress in reverse in the emotions, though, over all of this. So, and the Ten of Candles being burdens, difficulty, heaviness, and this is the with the Queen of the Queen of Pentacles. Gosh, there's so many energies coming through here. There is a Queen of Cups in the reverse at the end of this. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles and we have the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands is all about mission. So this Queen of Pentacles, that's in balance. She's navigated her roles. She's learned to nurture her environment. This could also be King of Cups association. I feel like there's an association here. And she's nurtured her environment, and she's moving on in some sort of mission. The Ten of Wands in this particular deck, which usually is some sort of burden, carried burden. So she's carried burdens, or perhaps this King of Cups has carried burdens to bring them to this point of Queen of Pentacles energy, where they're finding balance. Their needs are becoming met. They're nurturing themselves. They're harnessing fruitful energies, self-loving energies. It's about the individual as well. The Life Path 1 also was present, as well as the sun. Something was being illuminated. Again, with the clarification of the Five of Swords and the Seven of Cups, clarifying the Seven of Grains, Two of Cups, Two of Candles at the beginning of this. This is like that release of that inner turmoil, release of that, to be able to see the facade of whatever was going on around this Queen of Pentacles or the King of Cups energy. The Ten of Candles is also intense opposition. It could also be emotional burden, as I expressed. And this is just preserving through hardships. This could be somebody going through towards a mission that they're here to fulfill, and they might be being met with a lot of discord, a lot of heavy energies coming at them. A lot of fraudulent activities, perhaps. This could be a message that's unwanted coming through as well in the environment right now. Now, the Empress being in reverse is somebody who is lashing out. They're very salty. They could be maybe they're revisiting like these traumas. It was almost like people were projecting in the channel. Sorry, I need a drink of water. It was almost like people were projecting in the channel like past traumas onto somebody, but it didn't really fit with that person anymore. So I feel like the emotion could be trying to get somebody who embodies maybe an Empress energy to be in the reverse. But again, it wasn't really affecting them because they're the Empress. Like they've been there, done that. They've healed that shit, and it's not really affecting them anymore. And the people who are projecting it, maybe past acquaintances, past people that you might have had some sort of association with. So they might be trying to do this to you, Empress. And they're in their emotions because maybe you're not this, or maybe they're in your emotions because people are not perceiving you as this. Or this is who you're dealing with, somebody who is acting like this. Anyways, the reverse Empress is somebody who's neglecting self-care. They are maybe like a smothering kind of energy is going on here in the mix in regards to this particular card. So some sort of dependency. Maybe they want you to be dependent. Maybe they want you to be emotionally unbalanced, but you're the King of Cups. So like you can't be emotionally unbalanced if you've been through all the emotions to understand what you experience, right? This is also blocked creativity and fertility. Again, with the miscarriage, this could be significant. Maybe someone's in their emotions because you're still fertile. Maybe you're pregnant. Maybe you're having a baby. Maybe you're birthing some sort of creativity and somebody doesn't want that for you. And maybe it's making them in their feels. Also, this is also disconnection and loss of intuition. Again, lack of vision, lack of purpose. So somebody could be experiencing this, and this could be why they are in their emotions. I feel like they wanted this for you, but it's actually hitting them. I feel like it's a really big backfire that I'm experiencing in regards to this particular reading, and it's making somebody really salty. The energy is very salty. It's like the salt in the air is so stringent. You can't miss it. You can almost smell it. It's just so grand. And that's making somebody the result, the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So this could be who is sending this energy, maybe alongside the King of Candles in reverse. This could be two people working together. Again, there was a woman and a man in my reading, in my channel dreams. This could be people from the past. So this could be a Queen of Cups and a King of Candles in the reverse that you may have come cross with, had some sort of association with for a friend of a friend. Maybe you never met this person. Or this could be the woman with the dark ponytail that I channeled and the bald man that I channeled. This could be those people as well. Because that bald man was very significant, the one that I drew. The Queen of Cups in the reverse is somebody who has difficulty struggling with faith, connecting to faith. And again, the blasphemous song that I received that was a bit offensive, that's offensive, that's talking about the crucifixion of Jesus and and Bloody Mary and associating it with Jesus's mom. So this could be about somebody's mom or somebody who's been blessed with fertility. This could be relating to that as well. This Queen of Cups is salty to that notion. She's struggling with her faith and she during hard times. So this person goes through hard times and they lack an understanding in faith. They might not know that the faith that they have is not necessarily a solid foundation. They might believe that they're praying to God, but maybe they're praying to the devil. That could be definitely a reality for this person here. So they're feeling abandoned. They're feeling in despair. This is what the Queen of Cups in reverse represents in this particular deck. Also, somebody who cannot move past the emotional pain. They're stuck on this understanding, the cycle of like, why is this happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? Why can't I release this? This is definitely strong fertility tones to it. And this is a period of barrenness or lack of growth. So somebody who cannot bear children or somebody who has difficulty in growing beyond their pain. It's like somebody who's never been taught how to develop through discord or pain. They've never been able to, maybe someone has always taken the role and fixed things for them. They've never had the understanding in how to do it, that they could do it themselves. Maybe they've always had somebody do it for them. That could be definitely here. Or maybe just they were never able to embody beyond the pain and suffering that they had. And they've just remained in this victim type of mode and not understanding the greater picture of it all. And that's the cycle that they're in. Maybe that's the cycle that they're here to learn. And instead of diving into the hard darkness of what that actually is, maybe they're distorting it or diffusing it or projecting it upon other people. Hence the trying to make someone an empress in the reverse. Somebody an empress being somebody who is fertile, somebody who has children, could bear children, but trying to make them this. Except this person is not the same as this person. This person, I think, has this delusion that they think that they're like this person, this Empress in the upright. They believe that they're like this person, like this King of Cups. Somebody, they believe they've mastered their emotions. They believe they're the Queen of Pentacles, but they're actually none of the above. They've never looked at the dive of their emotions. They've never looked at the expressions surrounding them and regarding nurturing their soul or their movement or their embodiment. This is somebody who's very egoic. They probably had life served to them on a platter, and they believe everybody owes them something, and they're never in the wrong. They're always in the right, and they refuse to reflect because they can't, because they're stuck in a cycle. And if this is somebody that you are resonating with, that you understand this experience because you've dealt with them, this person is never going to understand the depth of who you are, and there's no point wasting your breath with them because they're just not going to get you. I feel like somebody is hyper fixated on you, on your growth, on your movement, on your totality, on everything that you've embodied up to this point or that you are going to embody. This person just can't seem to let it go. They're hyper fixated on you. And I mean, I feel like that's this watching. I also get the sense that this man that I was seeing could even be, it could be an actual person that I'm seeing. I'm going to hold this up. It could be an actual person that I'm seeing that's just watching. Maybe this is somebody that's hired. Maybe this is the King of Candles in reverse. And maybe they're hired to do watching on this woman and her fertility and her children and the licensing, and I don't know. There's some sort of weird depth here that could have to do with astral projection and remote viewing, and that was very prevalent in the channel as well. So this could be a tag team duo effect. Maybe this is a she, this Queen of Cups in the reverse. Maybe she has money. Maybe she's paying people to target you, some bald man who's watching you remote viewing. Maybe this person also has a distorted reality of how they're perceived, how they actually look. Maybe they believe that they look like this. I don't know. Maybe they do look like this. Anywho, this is the message. This is the channel. This is the understanding that I'm receiving here in regards to my dreams about Seoul, Korea, and the floating boat, as well as the building that's going to have devastation. Could be a business. The building could just represent a company or a community, something from the past, some sort of connection that you may have from the past. Definitely old people coming back, knocking on your door, showing up in your dreams, trying to trick you into something. So just be very mindful of that as you're moving forward into whatever this channel is from the galactic connections that you might have as a star seed. I'm going to leave it there. I hope this resonated in some way, shape, or form that was helping to bring some form of clarity, understanding, maybe some sort of confirmation. And if you are somebody who is struggling with the inability to, to move past these cycles that are devastating you, that are feeling really grievous, and maybe you're fixating on somebody who has what you want, my my recommendation is that you seek some professional help to move through this. There is a need to let go of an attachment to something, this idea, this component that you are owed or deserve something. There's some sort of attachment that you are holding on to, you're trying to obtain, and you believe that you should have it. But the belief might be in a false God. It could be something blasphemous, your belief. And because you might have ties to something blasphemous, or because you have this idea and it's not necessarily in alignment with who would provide that type of experience, until you learn that lesson, you might be met with the incapability of creating, having the visions, maybe even bearing children, if that's what it is that's blocking you. There's some sort of attachment and association in regards to how you're viewing your experience. Because I feel like whoever you are, if you are watching me and this is resonating with you, and you are really wanting to have that experience, you're hyperfixating on one facade of the experience and not seeing the whole picture, because there's counterparts. It's not just the physicality of the embodiment. There's the emotional counterpart, there's the mental counterpart, and there is the spiritual counterpart, and all need to be nurtured, all need to be in balance. And this requires faith, is what this feels like. This requires ownership in what was, understanding how to move forward into what will be, and praying to God for the change that you wish, praying to be delivered, perhaps repent if you've caused others harm because of the way that you've perceived things. There is a need to move forward, surely, for you. You are tired of the same pattern repeating, but there's a need for you to own what you've been repeating, because we like to look outside of ourselves at the pain and the experiences that we have. It's easy to look at another and blame them for what we're experiencing, but when it really comes down to it, everything that we experience comes from us. We create it. So we have to understand that there could be something deeper inflicting us that we may not understand, or maybe haven't even thought about. It may not even be the pattern or the space in where you hyperfixate. It could be something completely different. Regardless, there's a need to do some shadow work. There's a need to dive in and understand the depth of whatever that is. And until you're able to do that, you're just going to be in that vicious cycle. And you're hurting people who are likely, it feels like you're hurting innocent people who have done nothing wrong to deserve the lashing, or the disrespect, or the intrusion. And I'm going to leave it there. So if you like my reading, please like, share, subscribe. I do appreciate your support. Until next time, guys, I love you. Please take care.